if you make minimum wage in this city, it's almost impossible for you to enter the rental market. And so this is something that's fairly new to this city, something that's come to us, and it's something that we're really going to have to struggle with, but we won't be able to address it without considerable investment from senior levels of government. And I think this is not unique to Vancouver, but certainly unique to large cities in Canada. Perhaps this wouldn't be the case in more rural or suburban areas, but in a core city, this is a key challenge for us. And when you dig through the housing book, that you'll see that almost all the new housing stock for minimum wage earners is actually coming from some kind of subsidy from federal, mostly provincial governments, though. The issues here were perhaps it was, wild west of condo development and huge amounts of profits being made. I think that the development community is now recognizing that they have to help us provide housing for lower income bands as well. And so these are the discussions that are going forward as we move, into this term of council, being in month 5 now. But we see the challenge ahead of us, but also a good deal of hope that we here at City Hall will do everything we can to make sure that this is a city that works for everyone. We'd be in much better shape today if the federal government hadn't pulled out of the housing provision. So I think it's allowed, we kind of coasted on our existing stock, but as that decays, those rental buildings that were built in the 70s that are now kind of reaching their end of their life. And this is really something we have to have a national conversation about is perhaps we coasted our existing stock through the 90s and early 2000s, but we're really seeing the impact now of that lack of investment. So whether the federal government would consider giving us, rental housing would be forgiven GST, or there'd be other incentive programs. I do think, especially in the city of Vancouver, that would be needed. And believe me, when I talk to Minister Duclos, I bring these things up all the time. We are seeing some reaction from the federal government. But what you have your debate about policy, you actually put it in place, and then by the time it hits the ground, it's years out. So for me, sure, it would have been better to start earlier, but sometimes the crisis, you don't realize you're in one until you're actually in one.